Athens, 2,400 years ago, was a vibrant, compact city bustling with life. Around 250,000 people lived in this historic hub, where culture thrived amid warm, sunny weather that graced the city for more than half the year. It was a place of lively bars, grand theaters, revered temples, bustling shopping arcades, and popular gymnasiums. However, Athens wasn't just famous for its architecture and public spaces. It was also home to the world's first true philosopher, and arguably the greatest one, Plato. Born into a wealthy and influential family in the city, Plato dedicated his life to one overarching mission: to help people achieve what he called eudaimonia, a Greek word for fulfillment or flourishing. Plato is often mistaken for his mentor and older friend, Socrates, who was a significant influence in his early years. Unlike Socrates, who didn't write anything down, Plato left behind a treasure trove of writings, 36 beautifully crafted dialogues, imaginary conversations that delve into life's deepest questions. These include some of the most important works of Western philosophy, such as the Republic, the Symposium, the Laws, Meno, and the Apology. In most of them, Plato gave himself a starring role, often using Socrates as his mouthpiece to convey profound ideas. Plato's philosophical legacy can be summarized into 4 big ideas aimed at leading a more fulfilled life. Let's explore them. First big idea: think more. One of Plato's core messages was the need to think deeply and carefully. He observed that we rarely take time to reflect thoroughly about our lives and how best to live them. Instead, we often go along with what the Greeks called doxa, or popular opinion, a collection of beliefs that everyone assumes to be true. Plato noticed that much of this common sense was flawed and riddled with misconceptions. Popular culture, he argued, tends to mislead us. It promotes ideas like, fame is great, follow your heart, or, money is the key to happiness. For Plato, these beliefs are dangerous distractions that often steer us away from what truly matters. His solution was to know yourself. He believed in a form of self-therapy called philosophy, which involves examining our beliefs to see if they stand up to scrutiny rather than just acting on impulse. The idea is to strengthen self-awareness so that we don't get dragged around by wild emotions and societal pressures. Plato compared our feelings to a team of wild horses that can easily lead us astray if not properly harnessed. This method of examination, named in honor of his mentor, is called a Socratic discussion. It's a dialogue, either with oneself or another person, aimed at clarifying ideas rather than catching someone out. It's a process of revealing our deeper values and understanding the truth of what we want. Second big idea: let your lover change you. In today's culture, we often think of love as finding someone who will accept us exactly as we are. But Plato had a different perspective. In his work The Symposium, a dialogue set during a dinner party where friends talk about love, sex, and relationships, he proposed that true love isn't about acceptance but about admiration. For Plato, the person you fall in love with should have qualities you lack but admire. If they are brave, organized, warm, or sincere, qualities you might struggle with, you can grow by being close to them. In Plato's eyes, a healthy relationship isn't one where both partners are content to stay exactly as they are, but where each partner helps the other reach their full potential. This kind of relationship involves a commitment to personal development, even if it means facing uncomfortable and stormy times together. True lovers, according to Plato, inspire and seduce each other into becoming better versions of themselves, challenging each other to grow and transform. For him, love wasn't a static state of finding someone perfect but a dynamic process of mutual growth and self-betterment. Third big idea: decode the message of beauty. Plato was fascinated by beauty and was the first to ask, Why do we find certain things beautiful? He believed that our attraction to beautiful objects is not random. Instead, beauty has a purpose. It teaches us important truths about what a good life looks like. We are drawn to beautiful things because they possess qualities that we unconsciously seek. Harmony, balance, and peace. These are characteristics that beautiful objects often embody, and they are qualities that we sense we need in our lives. For Plato, beauty plays an essential role in educating the soul. Beautiful things remind us of the qualities we are missing, encouraging us to strive for a more harmonious and balanced life. Ugliness, on the other hand, has a negative impact, exposing us to disorder and imbalance. It subtly undermines our ability to be wise, kind, and calm. Therefore, Plato saw art as a form of therapy, and believed it was the duty of poets, painters, and today's TV producers, writers, and designers to create works that guide people towards a better life, encouraging virtue through aesthetics. Fourth big idea: reform society. Plato was not just concerned with individual fulfillment. He was deeply interested in how society should be structured to promote a good life for all its citizens. He was the world's first utopian thinker, imagining an ideal society. In this, he was inspired not only by Athens but also by its great rival, Sparta, a city-state famous for its military prowess. Sparta was essentially a machine designed to produce great soldiers. Every aspect of Spartan life, child-rearing, economics, diet, and even sexual habits, was geared towards creating effective warriors. However, Plato's concern wasn't military power. He wanted to know how society could get better at producing fulfilled and virtuous citizens. In his most famous work, The Republic, he proposed a series of reforms that would help Athens achieve this goal. He observed that Athenian society was preoccupied with wealth and fame, admiring the wrong kinds of heroes, like athletes and celebrities, such as the famous wrestler Milo of Croton. These figures often embodied flawed characteristics that set poor examples for society. Plato's solution was to create a new class of role models, whom he called the guardians. These would be individuals distinguished by their wisdom, modesty, and dedication to the common good. They would shun the spotlight and live simply, embodying virtues that the rest of society could look up to. He also controversially suggested that Athens should abandon its current form of democracy. Plato wasn't advocating for a dictatorship. He simply believed that too many people voted without sufficient knowledge, leading to poor leadership. Instead, he proposed that only those who had undergone rigorous philosophical training, those who could think rationally and critically, should be allowed to govern. To facilitate this vision, Plato founded a school known as the Academy. It lasted for 300 years, teaching subjects ranging from mathematics to philosophy, and aimed to cultivate a new generation of leaders who could think deeply about what it meant to live a good life. Plato's bold assertion was that society would only be truly just when its rulers were philosophers, wise individuals who cared more about the common good than personal power. He famously said, "The world will not be right until kings become philosophers or philosophers become kings." Conclusion: Plato's ideas are as relevant today as they were 2,400 years ago. His philosophy challenges us to think more critically, choose our relationships wisely, appreciate the deeper meanings behind beauty, and work towards creating a better society. These four big ideas, reflective thought, transformative love, the power of beauty, and the reform of society, remain foundational principles for anyone seeking a more fulfilled and meaningful life. Plato's vision was not only about individual betterment but also about the collective good. His academy laid the groundwork for Western education, and his ideas about knowledge, love, aesthetics, and politics continue to inspire and challenge us to this day. Whether we are examining our own motives, choosing our friends and partners, seeking beauty in the world, or thinking about how society should be run, Plato's wisdom still offers valuable guidance.